Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Experimenting with some different camera angles here. So, yeah, we're going to get started. Today, we're going back to the Loving Parent Guidebook, and we're going to be looking at chapter 7. It's a little bit weird because then I'm looking at the screen here and then phone over there. Let me do the sound check real quick, as always, just to make sure things are working smoothly. Hope you guys are having a good week. Things are doing pretty good. Yeah, I think it's working. Hello, testing. Yep, perfect. Cool. So, welcome back to another day of reading for reparenting. We're looking at the Loving Parent Guidebook. We're reading from now chapter 7, which is entitled Discovering Your Inner Child. And this is from page 81. Noticing when our inner child's pain is driving our actions. The inner child adopted an array of protective tools. These feelings, behaviors, and tools were necessary to survive the unhealthy family, but can lead to great emotional pain today. When our inner child is in the driver's seat or hidden in the shadows, we can act in self-destructive ways through their fears of abandonment and shame. We offer some examples below to help you begin to identify when your inner child might be upset by a situation and driving your reactions. These are examples, not cast in stone, and others are possible. These examples serve as a starting point for your own journey of recognizing, working with, and transforming these patterns. As you read the examples below, it's important to remember that our behaviors is an attempt to meet a need. It's not who we are. Our inner loving parent reminds us to separate behavior from our essence. Our essence is loving, connected, joyful, and innocent. Our essence never strays from this inner form, even as our behaviors and patterns shift over time. We could not have turned out any differently given our childhoods. Now is our opportunity to reparent and to grow. Our inner children often learn from their dysfunctional caregivers and dysfunctional circumstances to doubt themselves and their abilities. They can become discouraged or lose their natural confidence. They became dependent on external sources of support and guidance. They fear they cannot survive on their own, a universal childhood fear. But they know, they will not be taken care of like other children. The traits from the laundry list tend to be their survival strategies, representing fight or freeze reactions. In response to the abuse or difficult circumstances around them, they learn to deny their own thoughts, feelings, needs, intuition for the sake of others. They might often feel ashamed, hurt, sad, helpless, and scared. They might engage with others in a push and pull, being open about their needs and anxieties and dropping hints, hoping others will read their minds because it's just too scary to ask. They might isolate themselves if they experienced their caregivers or authority figures betraying or rejecting them, finding it hard to trust. However, they likely still long for the support they see others getting. When they cannot, when they're most in need of direct care, they might act helpless, get sick, or hurt themselves, since these were often the only moments in which they experienced care and attention they so sorely lacked in childhood. Your loving parent can remind your inner child that they are already supported in many ways and that safe people are available today. They need to hear that they are more capable than they think and that it's not their job to handle adult responsibilities today. To help the inner child let go of their debilitating fear and distorted thinking, you can ground your intention in the body and find ways to be present. Doing so can help them feel relaxed and feel more secure. In other cases, inner children might have learned to anticipate a barrage of a caregiver's rejection or betrayal. They might have wisely walled themselves off from their hurt feelings as a result. They can be impatient about having their needs met and act out when they suspect they might get hurt again, sometimes becoming demanding, violent, or manipulative. They can act superior out of fear of not being good enough. They might exhibit traits from the other laundry list, representing a fight response. Their desperate reactivity is how they adapted to the neglect, abandonment, dysfunction, or abuse that they endured. Your loving parent can help this inner child grow, open their heart by empathizing with their feelings and letting them know it's safe to be vulnerable with you. Behind toughness is deep hurt and a need to grieve. Working with a trustworthy person, fellow traveler, or therapist can help the inner child trust that it's possible to open up to others. Reassure them that you have their back no matter what and will protect them. Help them recognize their healthy qualities such as integrity, courage, and seeing strength in others. Improving your conscious contact with a higher power can help this inner child trust that it's okay to let go of some control. Sometimes inner children avoid feeling hurt by the neglectful or unsupportive environments by focusing on others. They can knock themselves out for approval, hoping for affirmation and praise, which secretly they don't believe they deserve. These inner children were likely pressed into parental role by a caregiver or circumstances. I need some more light here, guys, so I can see. But let's see. Put this over my. Yeah, there we go. That's better now. Where do we leave off now? The inner child learned to put others' needs ahead of their own, but they might also resent others who ask for what they need. They might feel guilty for having to ask for support or be afraid of seeming needy. It might not even occur to them that they have needs or to trust that others could meet them. They might push away painful feelings and overwhelm by distracting themselves with work or a new relationship. Their super competent external presentation can often be at odds with how they feel internally, hopeless and disheartened from the futile yet ongoing effort to save the family and themselves. This might lead them to punish others passive aggressively or turn on themselves. They tend to exhibit traits from both of the laundry lists. Our loving parent can give this inner child the nurturing and love they've longed for, helping them trust that their needs matter and that they don't have to earn love or approval. We can help them grieve the fact that their needs were so neglected. When this inner child's compulsion to people please arises, we can remind them it's not possible to please everyone all the time. I will lend a hand as long as I can take care of your needs at the same time. We can pause, get still, and find out which part of us needs. Developing healthy internal and external boundaries, described later in this guide, support our inner child, especially when they struggle with this pattern. The type of dysfunctional environment we grew up in, as well as our cultural influence, influences the specific ways our inner child has learned to react. Our personality traits, our differences, including the way we learn and communicate, personal preferences, how we look, etc., how we were treated for being different, and the ways in which we believed others disliked or misunderstood us, all shape how we learn to handle situations as children. Our inner children have wounds because it wasn't safe in our families to grieve or express our pain. By recognizing these feelings clearly as inner children reflections to long unmet needs, we have an opportunity to give ourselves what we've longed, hoped others would give us. We can notice when our inner child is reacting to a situation and driving our responses. We can reparent in these moments and give our inner child the love, approval, and appreciation that they seek in others. The reactions we turn to are not who we are, but our false self, how we learn to cope. Reparenting helps our inner child release these behaviors. As inner loving parents, we can choose behaviors that help our inner family thrive. False beliefs were created by limiting messages we heard from our caregivers and childhood authority figures who told us that our feelings, needs, or our true self were not okay. Whether this belief is I'm the best or I'm the worst, it comes from the feelings of low self-worth. They might not have the words to describe these beliefs, but our inner child, low self-worth, shows through its feelings and behavior. So, graphic I will just show you there. Ooh. At the end. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, got to turn the page the wrong way. Our loving parent can create the conditions for more life-affirming beliefs to take hold. We will explore this further in chapter 20. If we ignore our inner child, they'll get our attention in whatever way they can. This could be through physical symptoms, including but not limited to gastrointestinal issues, teeth grinding headaches, backaches, muscle tension, having accidents, racing heart, buzzing, anxiety feelings, and the like. Emotions, especially shame, fear, and rage, are the ways they speak to us. Oh, Jesus, that hits really deep. When we react, we can check to see if our inner child is in pain and reenacting the past. As loving parents, we can now get to know, have compassion for, and lovingly address our inner child's various patterns. We learn that deep down, our inner child just wants to be loved. Their fear of abandonment and rejection can cause them to take over and act out in ways that consume our energy. We can learn to give them love, the love that they needed directly, freeing us from the toll of their upset. And here's a quote: I don't always know how to channel my inner child's healthy energy, but I'm learning. That's the end of that section. And there are some reflection questions that we can look at. Getting to know your inner child, some reflection questions. Number 1, describe your inner child's voice, body posture, and physical appearance as best you can. Number 2, what are some of your inner child's likes and dislikes? Number 3, what core needs weren't met in your early years? Love, acceptance, recognition, to matter, support, compassion, being heard. What wounds linger from that time? Number 4, did your inner child learn or come to the conclusion that they weren't good enough or better than others, or some combination? And how did you arrive at that? Number 5, did your inner child learn to meet others' needs at the expense of their own, or meet their own needs at the expense of others, or some combination? Number 6, what physical sensations are present when your inner child has a sense of being safe? Number 7, what are some ways you support your inner child to let go of their survival strategies? The more we can make space for their feelings and reactions, the more our inner child will likely join us in the warm, loving environments we're creating today. Here's a quote: the first time I pictured my inner child, I saw a child chained in a dark, dank cell. I heard other adult children refer to their inner children as wolf children and felt reassured. After step work, fellowship, and therapy, I was able to meet with my inner family. I began to show love for them all. Today, my inner child talks to me regularly. Let's see. This is a really, really good reading. The last section, we have a few more exercises. I'm not going to go through all of those, but the closing section for this chapter is called Developing a Relationship with Your Inner Child. Here's a quote: when I feel stuck or sad, I ask my little girl what's up. I let her tears fall and give her what she needs, like a hug, affirmations, or talking with recovering adult children. A reparenting check-in worksheet, breaks from work, or simply being. The program gives me hope for deeper reparenting to come. A quote from a fellow traveler. Our wounded inner child's behavior, whatever form it takes, is a call for healing and compassion. We were innocent children, wounded due to no fault of our own. Our wounded inner children has carried a burden, yet we are more than our past. As this journey unfolds, we begin to recognize and appreciate the qualities, resources, and strengths we developed. The more connected with our inner child, the more we connect with our inner child without trying to change them, the more they will trust us and become a source of spontaneity, creativity, and joy, which is the goal: how to have fun and enjoy life. That is the best direction for your healing, because that is a sign that you're in alignment with your inner child, in alignment with your true self, is when you can access that joy and energy. When that returns, that is your sign that you're headed on the right path. Even if you want to relate this to the work of Brian Withers that I've been discussing and Rev Ike, it's allowing yourself to not be impacted by the external world, but be able to remain centered and operate from that core. This is the most important part of reparenting. It's the sign that you're heading on the right direction. I will just end it with this reading with the closing affirmation and meditation. It's okay if my precious inner child doesn't trust me yet. They're worthy of and deserve my unconditional love, care, and attention, and I will keep showing up for them. Thanks, guys. That's a reading for today. Let's end it here. I'll see you again soon. Take care.